Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
What are we holding here?
This is the Puma, I always get them all mixed up. Hold on. Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 2.
So Megan, we've both been running this. We both have put the miles in. You really flamed up a half marathon. We'll get into that in a second, but let's just go over the shoe first. What do we got here with this upper?
So you got a mono mesh upper here. It's very thin, very breathable. You know, it's that typical race day, just very light, minimal structure, but just enough to keep your foot locked down. Actually, some nice structure around the heel here. So I do feel like you got like a really nice lockdown there, but otherwise, you know, minimal tongue, very breathable.
They did do a nice job putting some padding around the heel counter. It is a little more rigid, I feel like, than the previous model for the heel counter. I know this is light, I know it's strong, I know it's breathable, but it does not feel good to the hand.
When you lace it up around your foot, it is pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And although they don't have your beloved gusseted tongue, no issues with laces or just staying locked down.
So it has a very thin tongue, but it does have a pillow over the top to avoid lace bite. And even though it isn't gusseted, the way that the laces go through on both sides keeps that tongue locked in place. So they did a nice job.
What's lace bite?
Lace bite is when over your arch, you actually feel the laces biting into the top of your foot.
I guess I just never called it that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You learn something new, the more you know. Make the star fly across. The upper, yeah, it didn't really affect me either way. The power tape seems to work in the way that it's supposed to, providing that support and structure to the shoe. Really what we love about super shoes isn't always the upper, it's the gooey center.
You still have the Nitro Elite foam, which was in the previous iteration of the shoe. However, I believe they've made some adjustments to it.
They said it's even lighter.
Yeah. So it's lighter. It felt maybe a little softer to me.
I think it has more of a spongy feel.
And you still have a carbon composite plate, so not a full carbon plate. It felt similar. You felt like it maybe had a little bit more spring.
Yeah, they call it a power plate. I feel it more under the toes. One of the things I did not love about the original one was I didn't really feel like you got that aggressive toe pop that I was looking for when you talk about the carbon plated shoes. I really love it when, as you get up on your toe, you feel that push forward. And the original one didn't really have that. What I like about the feel of this one, it feels like the plate probably dips down a little bit lower and comes back up a little higher, creating a soft feeling under the palm of your foot, and then that springy launch that I'm looking for.
I definitely felt like the plate had a nice bounce to it. Similar to the Endorphin Elite, which we just reviewed, I felt like this shoe felt almost a little better at some of the faster speeds. Like you felt that pop more from the plate when you're running a bit faster. The stack, so it's 36/28, 8mm drop. You know, that's definitely some decent stack, but it just doesn't feel like some of the real super shoes, race day shoes, where they're pushing the edge of 40mm.
But that could be a good thing for some people who don't want that huge stack under their foot. This one definitely feels more minimal underfoot. My size 10.5 weight, 8.32 ounces or 236 grams, which isn't actually all that light. Like we're getting at that point, you are getting up there to the Endorphin Elite, which has a huge stack. You're getting there to the Alpha Fly, which has the Zoom Air in it. Like I'm kind of like, wow, how did this gain so much weight? It might be the amount of rubber on it. It might be the foam itself.
They said it lost weight.
No, I didn't say anything about gaining weight.
Didn't he just say it gained weight?
We can play the tape back.
Let's play the tape back. Instant replay.
Wow, how did this gain so much weight? Now the website says the shoe lost weight, but unfortunate for the website, I have a pair right here. And let me just make sure they're the same size. This one weighs 7.13. So this is actually an ounce, more than an ounce heavier than this version.
There is quite a bit of rubber on the outsole here, but it's the Puma grip. We've talked about it before. It's like the best stuff out there. So as far as traction goes and durability of your super shoes, this one is probably gonna be at the top.
After running 13.1 miles, how did you feel in this shoe?
So I wore this shoe with a couple compression sleeves around my ankles, dealing with some Achilles tendonitis. I don't know if it was the combination of the sleeves and the shoe, just the sleeves. Not really sure, but my feet felt very not great at the end of 13.1.
She started from the back at charity race and you ended up passing over, out of the field of 2,900 runners or something like that, you passed all but 30.
About 50, yeah.
Starting from the back, starting with a 10-minute deficit. You were able to pick up the pace and run pretty well on it.
Yeah, so I definitely felt like out there, it felt great until it didn't. The later miles, my feet really started to hurt, but in the beginning, it did feel poppy and fun. So, you know, I won't write it off completely because like I said, maybe it had something to do with the sleeves, but it definitely, I was craving some more soft cushioning by the end of 13.1.
And while I was worried about it, I ended up running 18 miles in the shoe that day. I did a warm up, then we ran the half marathon, and then I did some cool down miles in the shoe. I didn't have any issues at all. My feet felt great. I don't know that it would be my choice for marathon because I do think I want a little more cush underfoot for the marathon.
But it was definitely, you know, not that soft cushioning. Feet feel great at the end of a long run that you want.
I guess it comes down to giving it a light at this point. What are you thinking, Meg? Green, yellow, red?
This one's gonna go in the yellow category for me. It doesn't work for me personally. I feel like maybe some changes to the foam or the plate or some extras, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I'd probably stick to the half marathon for this one for my preference. I would say red for the marathon. I would say yellow for the half. And just yellow overall. I would use it for the stuff that I would use those tempo shoes for, not so much for the race day.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great 5K shoe. For me, these are my personal preferences. I do think that some people will find this a good shoe, between the weight being pretty heavy for what I would look for on race day with this much stack. I'm torn on this one because I enjoyed running in it. I think it's a good shoe, but I just don't know that it would be my race day pick.
But yeah, like Thomas said, if you do prefer that, you know, lower ride, maybe a little bit of a firmer feel on race day, then maybe this is an option. It's gonna be $200 coming out in March of 2023, so give it a whirl. You tell us what you think.
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Go ahead, subscribe to get all our video reviews. Also, like this one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, and additionally, hey, you should check out the Drop Podcast, our weekly podcast about running and nonsense. And then we also interview athletes, shoe designers, people in the industry, all that kind of stuff. It's definitely worth a listen. And Fuel for the Soul, which Meaghan's wearing the shirt for.
Yep.
Check that out. That's nutrition and running, and we give you some helpful advice so that you show up to race day as fueled as possible. So check all that out. Subscribe to the email. I don't know, Brandon, anything else I'm missing?
That's it.
That's it, people.
Bye.
And it does also contain a little bit of an, okay, I'm saying this wrong. I just said a little bit. It's got a little bit. Okay, with a nice bit of padding. Hold on. Luigi. All right.